Alrighty then. Yeah, this video is about books. It's going to be called Books. I very wholeheartedly recommend that you guys find authors who are awake and who are into prepping and who are not shy of having weapons stored away and food stored away and things like that. I'm going to give you three of them right now. Three books that I've recently read, which are really, really good. One of the authors I know personally, he was a very good, close personal friend of mine. He is 100% awake to what's going on with regards to the New World Order and things like that. But I'm going to start with one that a lot of you have probably heard of already. It's called Patriots. It's by James Wesley Rawles. Very good book. I'm going to order the sequel to it, or the counterpart to it, called Survivors. This book is about a group of people who saw the inevitable collapse of the dollar and who prepared by stocking up food, weapons, and training themselves to use those weapons. And they bought a piece of land up in a rural community up in Idaho. This is a very good book. Very good book. This guy, James Wesley Rawles, is actually a participant in the www.survivalblog.com. And it's about family preparedness, and it's just about surviving natural disasters, whatever form they may take, be it a collapse of society, be it a hurricane, be it whatever. You know what I mean? A very good book. The book Survivors is about a group of people that, it happens simultaneously with this book, but it's about people who weren't necessarily prepared, but they kind of made it through by improvising. And I'm going to get that book next. It's in my queue on Amazon.com. Pardon me. The next book is called The Zombie Survival Guide. A lot of you guys have heard of it. There's a website out there called zombiehunters.org, and it may sound kind of stupid or childish or whatever like that, but the truth is they use the zombie apocalypse as a metaphor for a natural disaster, and they use preparing for Z-Day or World War Z as a metaphor for preparing for a possible disaster, being ready, you know, having your home fortified, having food and water stored up, having a weapon or two to defend yourself, and, you know, having communications so you can listen to emergency broadcasts or whatever, you know, knowing your neighbors so that you know who's going to be on your side and who's not. This is pretty cool. I'm just now getting to the part where they're talking about weapons and fighting tactics. It's by Max Brooks. Now, for those of you who don't know, Max Brooks is the son of the famous comedian and actor and director Mel Brooks, guy who's made us laugh for decades, you know. And it's just a really good book, and it kind of just, you know, for those of you who are into horror movies or zombie genre horror movies, which happens to be my favorite genre. I don't like demons or you know, stuff like that. I like zombies. I mean, that's just my thing. But anyways, this zombie survival guide, it's been around for a while and recently updated to fit more contemporary times and stuff like that. So here you go. And the last book is by a personal friend of mine named David Earl Mize. He is a man that I have worked with. He is a veteran of the armed forces. It's called Wolfman Dave. By the way, I don't know if you can see that. Wolfman Dave. It's a blend of fact and fiction. According to him, it's a blend of fact and fiction. About 40% or 50% of this stuff actually really happened. According to a couple of details that changed. When he was in the Army, he was down in Panama. They were dealing with drug cartels down in Panama. And I told him I would do a review on this book. He is 100% awake with regards to 9/11, with regards to the New World Order, with regards to what's going on, the possible/inevitable collapse of the U.S. dollar. And it's interesting, as I'm reading the book, he writes exactly like he speaks. So I'm actually reading the book and stuff like that. I'm actually reading the book, and I can actually hear his voice kind of in my mind's ear, so to speak. And he's worked as a bodyguard. He's been in the military, and he's even worked, if I'm not mistaken, as a law enforcement officer down in Mexico. He's got dual citizenship. He is a Christian, but he's also raised with some Native American beliefs, and you're going to see that in this book. Don't be offended. It's just his life experience coming onto the page here. Once again, it's called Wolfman Dave. It's by David Earl Mize. It's a blend of fact and fiction. Some of this stuff, he's told me about some of the stuff that really happened, and some of it's in here. It's his first published author. I mean, how many of us can tell us that we could say, yeah, I'm a published author? Well, my good friend David can, and this is his first book, and you know, you'd be helping him out if you choose to buy a book, you know, this and that, you know. And he's, like I said, he's 100% awake. I highly recommend that you guys support authors who are awake, authors who support the prepper movement like James Wesley Rawles, and authors who have got good knowledge on, you know, weaponry, and who are not shy about expressing that knowledge or expressing their support for the keeping of weaponry in the home, such as, you know, Max Brooks obviously talks very openly, so far as I can see, about civilians keeping weapons in their homes and stuff like that, and dealing with a possible, you know, quote, zombie threat, you know, whatever, you know, as implausible as that is, you know, but it's fun, and it's a good metaphor for disaster preparedness. But at any rate, that's what I got to say. So basically, the 3 books are, once again, Patriots by James Wesley Rawles. You've probably seen Demcat do a review of this as well. I'm going to be getting the counterpart, Survivors. I'm going to read that and do a review on that. This was an excellent book. Very pro-Christian, very pro-Second Amendment, very pro-American, libertarian-style government, low taxes, small government, firearms ownership, property ownership, anti-UN, you know, just right straight up and down the line with anti-New World Order. Even the New World Order is mentioned up in there. There's a part of the book, I'm not going to give it all away, where when the UN tries to come in and tries to pass a law saying that everybody in the continental North America needs to be chipped, then like resistance just starts coming out of the woodwork and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. A very realistic portrayal of how things could happen. All right. Next is the Zombie Survival Guide. This is more fun and entertainment than anything else, but there is some useful information in here about preparedness and the storage of weapons. And last is Wolfman Dave by Earl Mize. A personal friend of mine. He is awake. And this book is about his experience in the military and dealing with drug cartels, and his experience as a bodyguard for some important, again, it's a blend of fact and fiction. Some names have been changed to protect the innocent. He actually did bodyguard work for an elected official. And, you know, he's a personal friend of mine. There's nothing in it for me, but, you know, I told him I would buy a copy of his book and tell people about it and spread the word. So this is what I'm doing. It's Earl Mize, author of Wolfman Dave. All right, there you have it. That's what I've been reading. You know, interestingly enough, I'm not much of a reader. I'm not much of a novel reader or anything like that. But you know, there's been a couple of books that have come out lately that I'm just, yeah, cool. You know, if the subject matter interests me greatly, then I will definitely crack open a book and stay wrapped in it for a while. So, anyways, that's what you got. Like I said, I encourage you to check out these books and stuff like that. So, all right, you guys be good. God save the Republic.